Hello. Did you post the rock Ren? Yes. Okay. Go to Google Classrooms. Download Ren's rock. Yes. Tongue twister.
I hear Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
What? uh, rock. Oh, there you go. Okay. And you can hear me okay, yes? Okay. Let me move it away from my mouth so it doesn't sound like that. Thingy-majingy. Okay, actually I can just start. You guys can catch up. Alright, cool. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to unwrap our rock to create a UV tile. So this leads on from what we did before. So, huh? Wait for what?
Rewind.
Yeah.
It's rewind time.
Ren, please. Okay. So on my rock, let's delete this STL check because it's fine. I'm gonna go to unwrap UVW in the modifier list. I'm gonna extend my menu bar so it splits in two. I want to make sure I untick map seams under configure. This will get rid of those green lines that just appeared so we can create our own UV tile. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to click the point to point seams and I'm just going to cut this up. This is going to be a very simple rock, so how should I cut this? Randomly. Okay, I'm just going to start from the top and go down. Is that it? Can we do that? Let me go to the sides as well. Just because, I don't know. Make it a bit easier on the split. So I've got one going all the way down the middle and two sides for it to flap open. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna select the polygon. Select one polygon and click on the expand polygon selection to seam to select everything. Then I'm gonna go to pelt map. Okay, so this should be relatively easy. Let me expand my I don't know what you even call it, the area. Pelt options, select stretcher. Yeah, let's call it a stretcher. Scale, I'm gonna click it and scale up, give it a bunch of space, and then make sure you click off so the stretcher is not selected. Then we want to start pelt. That was very quick. And start relax. No, let's just start pelt. Let's just keep it as that. Let's go commit. Okay, and then let's go to pack custom so it fits in there. And just for the sake of put on the checker so you can see that none of your squares have turned fuzzy, blurry or stretched in any funky way. So that looks okay. If you wanted to, you can select it all and let's go to rotate and rotate it so it fits a bit better. And you can see it moving automatically on the screen. You want to make sure that you stay within the box. You don't want to go outside of the line. And then that's that. Okay, we can right click and collapse to. Yes, and that is done. Let's keep that as a poly, edit poly, not that it matters. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Export. Let me just export because it's the only thing in there. Keep it as a FBX. Let's call this rock, and I'm just going to throw this onto my messy desktop. So save. Embed media. Let's just tick it just in case and go OK. The following textures will not be whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, now what I want to do is I am going to go to Modbox. In Modbox, I'm going to go to File, Import, go to my desktop, select Rock FBX, open, and let's zoom out. We have our rock here. Now, if you loaded up Modbox properly, you would have the options for it to have the same controls as 3ds Max. If not, it's slightly different, but it's more or less the exact same. If you press W on your keyboard, you can see your wireframes, of the rock. And there's a bunch of stuff we can do here. We can go straight in, and well, you can't really scope this unless you subdivide it. And to subdivide, you press Shift and D, and you can see it went up one level. And you can do that to a lot of levels to, you know, start to sculpt and pull and stuff. But we're not going to worry about this too much now. What we're going to do is go to Paint mode. And let's go to Paint, and then what I want to do is select the paintbrush, and then as soon as I tick on, it's going to ask me, do I want to create a new layer? Now I'm going to call this layer rock underscore diffuse, and make sure the channel is in diffuse, and let's make a smaller file. Instead of you choosing a TIFF, we're going to choose a PNG. PNG or Targa? PNG. Let's keep it as a PNG. And the size, it doesn't really need to be 2K. We can change this to 1K. That's just going to be the resolution, the pixel count of the map that we are making. Press OK. And then on this layer, we can begin to pick our colors. Or whatever, and start to paint directly on. Now, if you had your Wacom tablets, you know, you can imagine what type of quality you can get in here. And if we go to our near our menu, we have our 3D view, our UV view, and our image browser. We can click the UV view, and we can see the map that we created within 3ds Max. Yep. Another way you can paint on here in our 3D view is if we press Control T, all the objects will show itself in the map view. The shortcut again, Alt T, and you can jump back and forth depending on if things are becoming tricky to paint. Another thing I'm gonna alert you guys to is also our mirror. If we go to the X, Y, Z, you can see how it places itself. Obviously, Ren has done this rock slightly wrong. His views are like all messed up. No matter, doesn't matter. It's not symmetrical anyway. Okay, so let me just pick a brownish color. And the shortcut for pressure is M. If you hold down M on your keyboard and press the left click, you can control the pressure, the strength of your brush, and B will control the size. So let's just go through and paint our rock. Let me OT. Okay, I think this is an issue with the graphics card that we're having here, or something. It's weird, but let's go through and paint this anyway regardless. Just give it some other colors. I don't think this will come through in the texture when you export it. Okay. It's never ending, isn't it? Okay, anyway, let's move on. Okay, so just say if you put a base color down, the next thing we want to do is, and you're happy with it, actually we've got some stuff down here. If we pick these stamps, you can paint with these on as well. I should have mentioned that. Yeah, so what's the best rock texture type of thing? Okay, yeah, let's go with this, like a mud snake rock. And this is just like Photoshop. You can make many different layers on top of each other and get them to, you know, have different values. Okay, the important thing that we want to do now though is we want to create another layer, and we're going to make a bump map off of this. So new layer, so right click in the option area, click new layer. We're going to change the channel to a bump map, and we're going to call this rock underscore bump. Click OK. Now this value works in black and white. White will look like it's extruding and black will look like it's indenting, so convex and concave. Yep. So if we go on to white, we turn the brush size, we turn the brush size down first. You can see what is happening here. Obviously that's horrible. We need to find a different way. Stencil. You don't need to use a stencil. You can go off and it will still create the indentation. And I think if you press Control, it will do it the opposite way. So let me pick a better stamp to show. So normal, you hold the Control key. Oh, that's not good enough stamp. Okay, there we go. So normal way, and instead of inverting it, you can just press the Control button and then it will do the reverse way. Yep. So concave and convex, all with the touch of the Control key. Okay, let's go around and give this a good texture though. I should have planned this before, yes. Okay, so I'm using whatever this is, cliff face. Okay, there you go. I'm going to use the cliff face. I'm going to go around and just use the Control key to go in and out to give this some perceived shape. Remember, you can always turn up the value or turn down the value if it's looking too strong. And let's have some scratches or something around. Okay, I'm gonna call this a day, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to File, Save Scene. I'm just gonna throw it onto my desktop. Let's just call this rock stuff. Save. Now when we go back into 3ds Max, we can go to what has actually happened is that Modbox will output look, rock stuff files, and inside will be my bump and diffuse. Yeah, so we can create textures in here as well as bump, and a multitude of other things. So I'm gonna press actually, let's go to make sure that we're in Arnold, because we're gonna be using Arnold. Yes, we're in Arnold. So this was set up through Ren stuff, so let's delete all of this stuff. Bam. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to my Arnold standard surface, double click the standard surface, take the specular down, and in our base color I'm gonna drag out general bitmap, go to my desktop and find my rock stuff folder. Inside the folder I'm gonna click the, which one is it? Yes, because these are just image files or something. You can tell by the size. You don't want to select the 1 kilobyte, obviously no information there. And then I'm gonna click the rock diffuse layer, and you can see it's appeared in here. And from here, with the rock selected, we can press the assign material to selection and show shaded material in viewport, and you can see that we have our rock in the texture on. Now for the bump map, so let's actually quickly do a render, and let me create a plane for the floor quickly. And make another material for the floor. Let's take the specular down. So when we render, yeah, we can see what's going on. Nice and simple. Okay, so pressing M again on the keyboard, I am gonna go make sure this is selected, our rock texture is selected, and then I'm gonna go down to where it says special features, and we have the bump, normal bump. We're gonna click this. We're gonna go to on the Arnold bump, and then 2D bumps. So maps, Arnold, bump, 2D bump. Okay. Now what this has done is it's brought out another node that we're gonna actually attach our bump to. So bump map, we're gonna drag out general, bitmap, and we want to select the rock underscore bump. Okay. Alright, so that has loaded in. And then here we can set, so you can see we've got the material under the bump map, and then here we can set the value. So I'm just going to put a value of 30. I don't know what it is. And if we press render now, you can see that our bump now has those scratches and marks that we've stuck in before. Yep. And it's as simple as that. Depending on, maybe this wasn't the best choice of or method to use, but you can see that it works. You can create much more detail with your bumps in this way by doing this method. Yep. Okay, and that is the end of that. Goodbye. I'm gonna leave the stream recording just in case it cuts off. And our next one, I'm gonna teach you a little animation trick. So yeah, I'll stop the stream and then make sure that one goes on.